Ever wondered how computers make decisions? It all starts with the powerful if statement. In this video, we'll break down how if controls the flow of your code step by step. If statement checks a condition, which is something that can be either true or false. If the condition is true, the program runs the body of if. If the condition is false, it skips that block and continues with the rest of the program. This is called the one-way decision because it only does something if the condition is true. It doesn't do anything when the condition is false. Let's look at this simple Python program. If a equal to 3, print yes. Print this is the statement below if. The condition in this example is a equal to 3. The body of if is print yes. Here's what this code does step by step. The first line, the variable a is assigned the value 3. This means that a now holds the number 3. Next we have an if statement. If a equal to 3. This line checks a condition, specifically whether a is equal to 3. The equal to operator is used to test for equality. It asks, is a equal to 3? If the condition is true, the program runs the code inside the if block. That is the indented line right below it. Print yes. Since a is indeed 3, this condition is true, so the program prints the word yes to the screen. The next line is print this is the statement below if. This line is outside the if block, which means it will run no matter what, whether the condition is true or false. Let's see the output when Python runs this code. The output is yes. This is the statement below if. In Python, indentation is not just for readability. It's a core part of Python's syntax. Whenever you write a control structure or block statement, like if or for, after the colon, the following line must be indented to indicate the start of the block. All the code that is indented in the same level is considered part of that block. When the indentation returns to the previous level, Python knows the block has ended. This indentation replaces the need for curly braces like in some other languages. If the indentation is wrong or missing, Python will raise an error, so it's important to be consistent. In the first example, I used indentation, and Python runs the code without any problems. Now let's remove the indentation and see what happens. You note that Python shows an error message because it expects the if block to be indented. The number of spaces used for indentation is up to you. For example, look at these two cases. Both use different indentation levels, but Python runs them without errors because the indentation is consistent within each block. Now, let's try using different indentation levels within the same block. This time, Python shows an error. That's because all lines inside the block must have the same indentation. In short, indentation in Python defines the structure and the logic of your program. An if-else statement helps a program make a decision in case an action needs to be performed when the condition is false. The if part checks a condition, something that can be true or false. If the condition is true, the code inside the if block runs. If the condition is false, the code inside the else block runs instead. For example, if a equal to 3, print yes, else print no. A variable named a is created and assigned the value 3. If a equal to 3, this condition checks whether the value of a is 3. If the condition is true, the code indented under this if block will be executed. Since a is indeed 3, this line will run, printing yes. Else block runs only if the condition in the if statement is false. Print this is the statement below if else. This line prints the message regardless of the condition above, because it is outside the if else block and always runs. Notice that the else goes at the same indentation level as the if. Now let's change the condition to a equal to 2. This time the condition is false. That's why the program skips the if block and executes the else block, printing no. In programming, sometimes we need to make a decision within another decision, and this is called a nested if statement. A nested if is simply an if statement placed inside another if block. It allows the program to check an additional condition, but only if the outer condition is already true. Let's look at this simple Python code to understand how nested if statements work. At first, a variable a is created and given the value 50. Then we have if a greater than 10. This is the outer if statement. It checks if the value of a is greater than 10. Since 50 greater than 10 is true, the program enters this if block and runs the code inside it, which is print above 10, executed because the condition is true. Then we have if a greater than 20. Inside the first if, there's another if statement. This is called a nested if. It checks if a is greater than 20. Since 50 greater than 20 is also true, the program prints and also above 20. Else block is skipped because the condition is true. Print statement below nested if. This line is outside of both the outer and nested if blocks. It will run no matter what because it's not part of any conditional structure. Here's how Python runs this code. Let's see what happens with different values of a. If 8 is assigned to a, the condition a greater than 10 evaluates to false, and the output is statement below nested if. If 15 is assigned to a, the condition a greater than 10 evaluates to true, and the output is above 10 but not above 20. Statement below nested if. Elif, short for else if, let you check another condition if the previous if or elif condition was false. It must come after an if or another elif, and it helps you check multiple conditions. Only the first condition that is true causes its code block to run. The rest of the conditions are skipped. Let's see how this program works. The variable marks holds a student score equals 90. Then the if statement checks if marks is greater than 90. If it is, it prints grade is A+. If not, the program checks the next condition using elif. Is marks greater than 85? If yes, it prints grade is A. If no, go to the next condition. Is marks greater than 70? If yes, it prints grade is B+. If no, go to the next condition. Is marks greater than 65? If yes, it prints grade is B. If no, go to the next condition. Is marks greater than 50? If yes, it prints grade is C. If no, go to the else block. If none of the above conditions are true, the else block runs and prints you failed. Then we have print statement below if elif else. It is outside the if elif else structure, so it is always executed no matter which condition is true, or even if none are true. Notice that the else statement in if elif structure is optional. If no if or elif condition is met, the program will simply continue execution after the if elif block. Let's see what the output will be for different values of marks. When marks equals 90, the condition marks greater than 85 is true, and the output is grade is A. When marks equals 75, the output is grade is B+. When marks equals 60, the output is grade is C. When marks equals 40, all conditions are false, else block is executed, and you failed is printed. When marks equals 100, the if condition evaluates to true, and grade is A+, is printed. Remember, statement below if elif else is always printed because it is outside the if elif else structure. That's it for this video. Today you learned how to make decisions in your code using simple conditions, and we walked through clear examples to help you get started confidently. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next lesson.